Hello, welcome. Thank you for tuning into my science lesson. Today, we'll explore the topic of friction. Friction is a resistance that one surface or object encounters when moving over another. Or put into simpler terms, it is when one thing rubs against another. There are two kinds of friction: static friction and kinetic friction. Static friction is the force that keeps an object at rest. An example of this is a car parked on a hill. The brakes of the car put static friction on the wheel hubs, and because of the static friction, the wheel is held in place to the ground, which allows the car to stay still even when on a hill. When an object is still in one spot, there's also another factor in play. Adhesion takes place between two objects. Adhesion is when two stationary surfaces stick together very slightly, thanks to some subtle chemical bonding between the two surfaces. This factor is part of the reason why static friction is so strong. Once the adhesion and static friction are relieved and one or both surfaces begin to move, the kinetic friction takes place. Kinetic friction, also known as sliding, rolling, or moving friction, is the force between two objects moving relative to each other. An example of this is sliding a paper across a table, or the wheels of a shopping cart rolling against the ground. Kinetic friction is not as strong as static friction. Now that we've gone over the two types of friction, let's begin our demonstrations. In this demonstration, we will be displaying static friction. This demonstration will be easy and simple, as you only require a few materials. The materials needed are an empty plastic bottle, a wooden chopstick, a funnel, optional, and most importantly, raw rice grain. There are only a few steps to this demonstration. First, we take the plastic bottle and we fill it with the rice grains. Make sure to pack the rice tight in the bottle so that the demonstration works better.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is where a funnel would come in handy.
One eternity later.
Now that we've finally got our rice packed tightly into our plastic bottle, grab your wooden chopstick and push it into the rice until it touches the bottom of the bottle. I'm sure you felt some resistance when pushing the chopstick into the bottle. That's because of how tightly packed the rice grains are. Now that you have the chopstick in place, take hold of the top, and you can now lift it up. Pretty neat how we can lift up a bottle, which alone has some weight to it, with nothing but a chopstick. This happens because the chopstick being pushed through the already tightly packed rice causes the rice to be pushed to the side to make room for the chopstick. And when you try to pull out the chopstick, the entire bottle will lift due to static friction of the wood and rice holding in place. Thank you for watching my video on friction.